Hey guys, how's it going? Up the production game just a little bit, got a little intro song and everything. So that way I can dance in the background, get all the craziness out of the way before I come on camera. So, those of you that don't know, my name is Taj, and we're here about to do the Good Bit Show. Good Bits, we highlight all the positive aspects of Bitcoin, some of the amazing things that's happening within the ecosystem that might not be on your timeline, but hopefully, as we're doing this every single week, Saturday evenings, we should brighten up your timeline just a little bit more positivity, if you will. And of course, we break the show into three segments. Those of you that have not been tuning in, this is the fourth week now that we're doing this. And the first segment, we do nice feel good stories, the good bits, if you will, of all the amazing things, positive things that people are doing with sats and Bitcoin. Of course, sats, just a denomination of Bitcoin, if you will, breaking down. But also, we like to cover circular economy, something that is near and dear to my heart. If you've been on spaces with me, pretty much a guarantee that I'm going to bring up circular economies. And the third thing is all the amazing things on the tech side, the development, different gadgets and layers and all these things that people are doing, whether or not you like them, but how they're adding to Bitcoin adoption, such as Lightning and all the amazing things, wallet innovations and apps. Like last week, we covered Jack Dorsey's Bit chat app, which allows you to send sats without even having an internet connection. You just pre-sign everything and then you do the transactions via Bluetooth. Those are the type of things that we like to cover on this show. But again, we just want to thank every single person that tunes in with us, hangs out with us, has a good time watching these, because a lot of times we like to talk about the trading, the charts, what's happening in the markets, macroeconomic, geopolitical, and those things are important. But sometimes it's just nice to kick back on the weekend and talk about just positive things that are not directly related to price action or whatever's going to happen on Monday morning when the markets open up, right? Because at the end of the day, the world keeps going on and we have to live our lives. So we want to bring some positivity to your timeline. So, first story that we're going to dive into, something which I find very interesting. Let me pull this up here. Step over a little bit. There we go. So excuse me, Steak and Shake. Almost said Shake and Steak. Steak and Shake. If you have not been following their company, they've been accepting Bitcoin as payment. And one of the interesting things that came across my timeline, which I thought was really cool, that I wanted to open up with and share. Those of you that are not familiar with this, it's been getting quite a bit of news coverage, but I think it's just worth sharing because it is a positive thing. So, starting on March 1st, Steak and Shake will be giving all hourly employees a bonus, a 21-cent worth of Bitcoin in bonus. And it's going to be vested for 2 years. So I think that's absolutely amazing. So there's a couple things about this that I find very interesting. First and foremost, these are hourly employees. These are not salaried employees with 401ks and all these bonuses that are just so standard and corporate. This is a fast food hourly employee that's going to be getting a 21 cents worth of Bitcoin bonus. And I think this is really interesting on a few levels because, first and foremost, if you were not familiar with this, these bonus packages and everything that we're so used to today, we talk about IRAs, we talk about 401ks. It's fairly new. So a lot of times when people probably hear this, like, this is just a gimmick, this is crazy, what's going on? Of course, the Bitcoiners, we're excited about this, right? A few reasons. Number one, you're orange pilling regular hourly employees, regular workers. So that's a plus. But then also, since it's vested for 2 years, you're teaching them to save the long term value of assets, putting things away for a better tomorrow, if you will. And it's a great way to retrain our instant gratification society that we're, the TikTokification of the world where everything is supposed to happen yesterday in 30 seconds or, the idea of getting 21 cents worth of Bitcoin, that doesn't seem like much, but stacking that up hour after hour as you work for 2 years does a couple things. Number one, it's going to train you to work harder, work longer, get more hours. Hey, put in the hours, you're going to get more sats. But then also, and I know there's two ways of looking at this, but I'm looking at the positive, especially as a young person working in a fast food joint. Working more is a good thing. And then over time, your savings and your efforts are going to compound because it's locked invested for 2 years. Therefore, your efforts today will reward you greater tomorrow. And I think that is such a positive thing for young people. But earlier, I was saying that, it really seems like this. is, in my opinion, not just a gimmick. I think it's something that, of course, we talked about it in the headlines. It got news coverage, and a lot of people are going to criticize it and say, "Oh yeah, this is just obviously for the sake of we're talking on a show right now, right?" But no, I really think this is actually something that is going to be the norm in the sense that I open up by saying that 401ks and IRAs and all of those things, which are kind of standard employee packages nowadays, that wasn't always the case. And it's really interesting that they're actually really new. So let me pull up this. This is something I shared on my personal page earlier in the week, which I think is really interesting, is that this is really something that is fairly new. Pulling this up right here. So self-taught success. This is Jared. He shares some amazing stuff. So if you haven't ever checked out his page, I just highly recommend you do that. Of course, he's in the Wolf Circle, hanging out with us all the time, doing amazing things. But this post that he put out really struck a chord with me because it has an excerpt from this book that I don't know if you could read this, but I'll just read it. But basically, it wasn't until the 1980s that the idea of everyone deserves and should have a dignified retirement took hold. So it was 1980s. This is like a fairly new thing. In other words, there are people that are working that never even knew this concept. So like the boomers and whoever else is Gen X, those people, they were in a world where this was not the norm. But anyways, going on, and it says that the 401ks, is the second paragraph here, the 401k, the backbone savings vehicle for American retirement, did not exist until 1978. The Roth IRA was not born until 1998. Now, the reason why that struck a chord with me, like 1998, well, I'm an 86 baby, right? So, I'm the old man over here at Wolf the Unk, but an 86 baby, I'm like 1998. I mean, I was in school, like I was a kid when this happened, but in my mind, IRAs and 401ks, they just always were. I always hear about company towns in the history books, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, those company towns and those pensions where you go work for the coal mine and you move to the company town, and everything's on the back of the company, and you just give your life for them, and then you retire and they take care of you. That was like the idea of a 401k, and that's what I always thought. 401ks were around since then, but the actual formal structure, though, yes, there were pension plans back in those company town days and all of that, but the actual structure that we know as a 401k in the United States, there's other numbers and letters that are all around the world. But very interesting thing about the 401k, actually, this is not even in my notes, it's a random tangent I'm about to go on, is that it's actually 401k is just line K of, so section 401 line K of the tax code. So it's actually, when I was younger, I thought 401k was something with like $401,000 or something. I don't know, maybe like that was just my ignorance when I was in high school. But it wasn't until when I was in college sometime and I was talking to someone about 401ks that they were like, oh yeah, that's actually something from the tax code, and that actually isn't a value or anything. And I don't know if anyone else knew that, but I'm just going to throw that out there just in case you never did know that. Now you know. So you're getting it all here. You're getting to hear about employees getting sats as bonuses hour after hour as they were flipping burgers and selling fries. But then also you're learning the histories of 401ks and IRAs, which, anyways, going back to the whole point of this story, I think this is such a positive story and a great thing simply because amazing things are happening. And again, it's positive for the fact that people are being onboarded. And a lot of times these fast food workers, let's be honest, either they're kids or they're someone who might not be in the best position of life, but now they're onboarding, they're orange pilled, they're getting the opportunity to make sats, and they're getting the opportunity to lock them away for 2 years and save. So I think this is a great thing. I think more companies are going to do that. Hopefully, going forward, this is going to be the norm. Just like how this might seem like a crazy thing on your timeline today, maybe it's just a gimmick, a marketing stunt. Well, think of what a 401k or an IRA might have sounded like when you're talking about retirement back in the day. Probably sounded like some newfangled craziness, right? Well, that's where we're at right now. So maybe in 20 years, it'll just be the norm and everyone just expects dental, health, and sats. So next story we're going to go to, check this one out, is within the world of circular economies. Now, this is where everything kind of comes full circle. Again, like I said, I like to land the plane in circular economies all the time because that's really my passion. That's what I love. That's what I really like. And where it all started, as far as the world's first circular economy, was right here in El Zonte. Now, they're getting ready to have this circular economy conference or a circular economy summit, if you will, 2026. This is the second year that they'll be doing this. And this is going to be on January 26th and 29th in El Zante, El Salvador. So I wish I could be at this thing, but just check this out. These are just regular people, and they're here. They're talking about all these different things, their efforts as far as their onboarding. It is a 2-day thing, and they're going on. And Gabriel, by the way, Kierman, who we had on the podcast last week, or a stream, I should say. Check out that great interview. He was actually the one who told me about this and let me know that this was going down. He was like, if you can make it to this thing, I will connect you with everyone. But unfortunately, I couldn't make it. So anyway, shout out to Gabe. Really appreciate everything that you're doing within the world of Bitcoin and of course, this book right here, which is on the screen. We spoke about that a little bit in the live stream, but just check that out. I'm not going to go on too much, but circular economy is really cool stuff here. But El Zante is where it all started, and everyone is heading there within the next couple days. So timeline, at least my timeline, has been blowing up with all the people from all over the world, Latin America, even Africa. I mean, people are coming from all corners of this round world to go hang out with Bitcoiners in El Zante. And I think it's great, just where it's all started, the circular economies. And we like to talk about where El Salvador is going and what the president is doing and all that stuff. But what I'm most excited about is boots on the ground, grassroots efforts like this. Bitcoin Beach is a little strip in a country, in a small country at that. So it gives every single person around the world some hope and excitement to know that it doesn't matter how small your neighborhood or your community is, you can have a global impact. You can have impact on lives and generations, because this little country, and within that small country, an even smaller section of the country adopted Bitcoin thanks to an experiment of someone, right? And because of this and the example that they laid out, now all over the world, there's circular economies and people are following their examples and trying different things and experimenting. What might work in El Zante might be a little bit different, tweaked in a specific region in Kenya or in Nigeria or Southeast Asia, whatever it is, because each local region is going to have different challenges, different ways to onboard. You might have certain security limitations, technological limitations in certain areas, and those are the type of things that they're covering. And I just think it's really cool. So I wanted to share that really quick. So those of you that are not familiar with Bitcoin Beach, highly recommend that you just check out all the cool things that they are doing. And of course, that Circular Economy Summit, which will be taking place there in El Zante, El Salvador, I think is absolutely amazing. Search that up. And if you can't get there like myself, I'm not going to be able to be there, unfortunately. But guess what I'll be doing? I will be following on the timeline. I'm checking out Bitcoin Dominicana. I'm taking out Bitcoin Acasi. I'm taking out the Bitcoin Beach pages. I'm checking all of these circular economy communities, and they're all over X. So if you're not familiar with that, I highly recommend just type into the search right now, Bitcoin circular economies, and all of those pages that I just mentioned will start to pop up. Check them out. These are small pages, grassroots efforts. Some of them are hundreds of people. Some of them aren't even verified because they might be in a country where it's like, oh, I don't even know why I'm going to take the time to spend X dollars. It's a lot of money for us where we live to just get a little blue check mark. So let's just have our little club. We're doing this boots on the ground, but every now and then we want to tune into a space or something. We'll have the presence on X. So don't underestimate the size of their page, their profiles. These are amazing people that are boots on the ground doing amazing things in their regions and communities. And how you can check to see, like, is this a legitimate group, is just start to see who they're following. If they're following My First Bitcoin, Primero Bitcoin, if they're following any of those groups that I just mentioned, of course, Bitcoin Beach, the Blink Wallet, if they're connected with them, you can kind of see that they're in the mix of things. The Geyser Fund, that's another place. So if any of these other pages are following or interacting with these very small local communities, well, check them out and then you can actually find them. And a good way to do that too, like I said, that El Zante Summit, if you just go to the Bitcoin Beach page, go to them, you'll have a link where you'll see a few, actually, you know what? I will go there right now. You can see a few of the communities, and it's just an easy way that you can actually see. Let me pull this up here. Switch this over. Easier to show than tell. All right, so if you go to the bitcoinbeach.com, this is their main website. If you scroll down right here, of course, you can see all the stuff telling about them. But on the bottom, of course, the event. But But on the bottom, you'll even see some of the communities that are associated with them. And I'm just scrolling down to the bottom. You can check this out if you want to. But you go down here, you'll see different partners, right? So you'll see the different tech, like the different things that they're working on, Adopting Bitcoin Conference, which I did speak about last week, and a couple other ones. Just go to these pages right here. And then from those pages, see, these are all X pages. So I'll just pick a random one. Let's say Adopting Bitcoin. It's going to pull me up to this conference. And now I'm going to see on this page, obviously, see, there's only 20,000, which is a good amount, but who they're following. So I'm giving you the hack right here to find circular economies and all this stuff. So you're going to see Bitcoin Beach. You're going to see all of these other people, and then just start to scroll down. Seed Signer. All right. Then you can see Ramon Martinez, who was a co-founder of Bitcoin Beach, did quite a few things over there. You can get just anyways, My First Bitcoin that I was just speaking about before. So follow these, go down this rabbit hole, and you can find other clubs. So see, I went to My First Bitcoin. Now look at this. I'm getting really regional. This gets really small now. See, there's Brazil, there's the Bitcoin jungle. And so if My First Bitcoin is following them, connected with them, you know that these are legitimate organizations that are doing boots on the ground things, really cool stuff there. And just go check them out. So like I said, look at this one right here. This is only 595 people on this page. So you might be thinking, oh, this can't be a legitimate thing. You know, that's how we're accustomed to thinking if we're in the West. And, you know, they need the verified page. And a lot of these Bitcoin organizations, they're actually on Nostr, and they're using other apps, or just not even so much on X or any platform for that matter. They're doing things in person, in real life, boots on the ground. So don't underestimate them by the size of their page. If you're interested in this stuff, just check it out. Anyways, so this is not an advertisement to go check out other pages, but I just want to say, if you're interested in the world of Bitcoin circular economies, I want to get that on your timeline, because this stuff is really cool to me. That's what I'm passionate about. And hopefully you find it interesting too. So as far as another thing now, so let's get a little bit more back towards the States, because a lot of times I know I bring up the stuff about Africa, I bring up stuff about South America, Southeast Asia, and you might be sitting here, you know, a large percentage of our audience is in the States. So I don't want to forget about the bread and butter, the the larger part of the audience. I'm going to show you something that's happening right here in the States, and hopefully you can hear this video. I'm going to pull this up. This is by Sovereign. They posted this. This is on
Steak and Shake to small businesses like a juice bar.
Now, let me run this back, pull this up.
A new way to pay at a local business, Bitcoin. This is a map showing places across the valley that now accept it as payment. From restaurant chains like Steak and Shake to small businesses like a juice bar in the Southwest Valley, they are cashing in as the cryptocurrency continues to grow in popularity.
Fresh pressed sugarcane juice, where we actually take the sticks, we juice it right in front of you, we mix it up with some of your favorite fruits, and give you a delicious treat.
At Cane Juice Bar and Cafe on Rainbow near Windmill, Tyler Peterson is ready to serve you something sweet. A wide range of freshly made drinks and a wide range of payment methods: cash, card, or Bitcoin.
It's been about 8 months now that we've had Bitcoin implemented as a payment. Well, Bitcoin is getting very popular with mainstream people, not just the people that are actually into things like cryptocurrencies and such like that. So it's just something to help us move forward.
He says customers that normally wouldn't know about his shop come in just to use bits of a Bitcoin.
Absolutely. Yeah, I get calls all the time. People come in, they inquire, and they ask me if we're accepting Bitcoin. So actually some customers we have generated off of accepting Bitcoin. That Bitcoin map is helping us out a lot.
There's an array of businesses that are currently available for Bitcoin payments, everything from medical practices to juice bars like we are here today.
Okay, so I just wanted to say really quick, I know this is some really cool stuff, but I don't want to just keep running that video from them. Of course, they were able to post this, and I don't think they would have an issue with that. But what I think is just really interesting here is because a lot of the time when I'm speaking about these circular economies, of course, a lot of it is happening internationally. Now, we have Jack Dorsey, the Square app, and Cash App, and what Jack Mallers and quite a few people are trying to do to spark Bitcoin circular economies in the States. However, generally speaking, a lot of these conversations are about preserving wealth, trying to, or even traders, people are trading Bitcoin, whether swing traders, day traders, whatever type of traders. So a very different conversation. So if you're only in North America, or if you're only in the strongest economies in Europe, you might be thinking nobody is spending Bitcoin. Nobody's using this thing as a currency, as a means of exchange, peer-to-peer payments. You are wrong. So that's where I really wanted to highlight that. And like the thing that was really interesting about that, besides the fact that he was juicing cane, right? So cane is like a very Caribbean thing. I'm like, these guys are in middle America juicing sugar cane and selling it with Bitcoins. I think that's just absolutely hilarious. I thought that was cool. But if you notice, the reporter says bits of a Bitcoin, right? They didn't say sats. They don't know anything what's going on in this. The poor lady is probably just reading off the teleprompter, doesn't know anything that's going on. But because a local business is there accepting Bitcoin, now she has to read off this story and learn a little bit about Bitcoin. So even if that was the very first time when she's reading that teleprompter that she ever heard about anything, guess what she's probably going to do? She's going to go and Google, research this thing, chat GPT, whatever it might be, come talk to Grok and find a little bit about like, why on earth would my producer send me this teleprompter with a Bitcoin story? I don't even know what this stuff is. She's going to look that up because she might have thought it was something negative, something crazy, but her producer sent it to her. So now she got a little education. And what's really cool too is if you notice that guy said people are looking up Bitcoin businesses on the map and they're coming to him. So someone who probably doesn't even like sugar, they don't like sweets, they don't like juice. They just because they're Bitcoiners, they're like, yeah, I want to go support this business because that's a Bitcoiner. Now, this is something that I speak about all the time. The closest thing that I see to this is with Marines, right? So when I have quite a few friends that are Marines, that were in active duty, they fought in Iraq and so forth. And when they start a business, they will go out of their way to support another Marine. And they're willing to pay a premium at that too. So it's like, you know, you might think that, oh man, this guy is 4 counties over. But if he was an active duty Marine that also was down in the trenches and fighting, like they're going to drive and go and support that other Marine. So a lot of times you think like, why would anyone want to spend their Bitcoin? Why would any business even put this up as a payment? It's because Bitcoiners want to support Bitcoiners. Now, one thing that I always say as a caveat when people keep saying that, like, you should never spend your Bitcoin, that's blasphemy, is that the same money that you're going to go and you're going to spend with fiat or whatever currency, you could just replace that Bitcoin right away and have that circular economy going. So let's just say I wanted to go on a $500 shopping spree, if you could consider that to be a shopping spree. If I just that moment buy $500 worth of Bitcoin and go spend my $500 wherever, I'm sparking the Bitcoin circular economy without having to spend my generational savings, right? So just a little trick right here. And some of these apps like Cash App and Blink and whatever they're doing, all these different ones are coming up. It makes it so easy to just get in and out and then be able to spend Bitcoin that it's actually worth it. And I'm not going to go into all the reasons why a business would benefit from this because I cover that a lot all the time. So please feel free to check out some of the previous streams that I've dove into that topic. But I would highly recommend that you consider that as an option. And a lot of times when I share the story of me buying socks and pizza here in Jamaica on Pizza Day, that was in May, and I spent sats for it, people are like, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But I'm like, truthfully, what I did is I rebought those sats. So it's like, it was a net positive for me in the sense that I brought more people into the circular economy. And it's not like I blew my savings, right? Because at the end of the day, we're going to work money, we're going to spend money, we're going to live off of money. Not every single dollar we make goes into generational savings. And truthfully, most people around the world, even in America, are living paycheck to paycheck and they don't have generational savings to put down. So that argument doesn't really hold weight to a lot of people. It comes from a place of privilege. And I know I'm saying this as someone who is privileged enough to have some savings, right? Not a massive amount, but I have a little bit of savings and it's not like I'm worrying about my meals tomorrow and so forth. So when I say that, coming from a place of privilege, don't take offense to that. Like I'm saying, you're a privileged individual, but I consider myself to be a privileged individual. So anyways, different topic, different day, but another thing that we're going to go to is besides the fact that that is happening there in the States, which I think is absolutely amazing, we're going to take a look at the tech, right? Normally, when I take the tech spin, what I normally take a look at is like what someone is building as far as, some sort of protocol or some sort of, I guess you would say, wallet or something. But the tech that I'm going to highlight today is actually a show in the sky. It was a drone show. So, those of you that don't know, BitGo does a lot of infrastructure for the corporate Bitcoiner, if you will. And they IPO'd. And because of their IPO, they decided to do a aerial drone show over New York City, which I will play right here. I'll mute it. That music is really irrelevant to what I'm going to say, so you don't really have to hear it. It's just some feel good music, which would actually be good. This is a feel good pod, but I just want to talk over it because there's really no need to have that going. You can just watch that, and I'll talk in the meantime. But the reason why I think this is actually so cool is because millions of people had the opportunity to see this aerial display. So there were kids, there were probably elderly people over in Jersey, all over the New York City area that had a view of this in the sky, that had the opportunity to see this. And guess what? Most of them were probably not watching the sky and checking into this thing because they were Bitcoiners. They were looking at this thing because it was a cool spectacle, right? So this technology of an aerial show with all of this stuff got their attention, right? And as they're getting their attention and figuring out, oh, wow, this is so cool. What is this stuff? You're going to start to see various elements of Bitcoin start to pop up. You're starting to see different things that they would probably never, ever search. Yes, there's going to be a lot of New Yorkers that know what these symbols mean, know what the Bitcoin symbol, the logo is, and these graphics that are going to be in the sky. But the vast majority of them have no clue what this is. So this is the very first time. And if nothing else, they're going to be like, okay, BitGo had an IPO. They put this thing on. Why are they putting bees up in the sky? You know what? They're going to pull out their little phone, take a little shot, maybe ask their virtual assistant or their whatever, their AI assistant and say, what the heck is this thing? This whole thing is going to come up about BitGo. Well, what is BitGo? What does BitGo do? Oh, they're institutional Bitcoin software and solutions and helping corporate Bitcoin. Like, what does any of that mean? So a curious person is going to start to just go down that rabbit hole. And if they have any desire to just know what the heck, why are these aerial drones lighting up the sky with all these weird symbols, it opens up the door. So I think this is a really, really cool, innovative way to spread awareness for Bitcoin and get people curious and down this rabbit hole. And if nothing else, people were entertained. They saw the stuff in the sky and they thought it was cool. So congratulations on BitGo with the IPO. Congratulations on this thing. And I think it's absolutely amazing. People love to see fireworks. People love to see these drone shows, and it will make them stop. Now, look how beautiful New York is. If you're on that side and you see all the lights and everything, of course, it's going to catch your attention. But, I just think it's just a cool video as well. And those of us that weren't in the New York City area, we can see it online. And I'm sharing this because I think it's cool. So with that said, I think there is a lot of different ways that tech can help to onboard various people into Bitcoin. It's not always the dev. It's not always the builder. And a lot of times people want to talk about, tech and how we can orange pill people. Like, that's not my role. I can't build anything, but you can fly drones. I'm not telling you to go get drones and put on an aerial spectacle, but think outside of the box. What tech do you have? Do you have a smartphone? Do you have a microphone? Look what I'm doing right now. I'm putting on a show, right? I'm using tech and I'm talking about Bitcoin in a little bit different light than other people might speak about on your timeline. And now you gave something that you could share to other people that might not even be interested in Bitcoin. But little things like that, using tech to the best of your ability to share Bitcoin with others, I think is absolutely amazing. So those are the type of things that we like to highlight here on the Good Bit Show. And there's countless other shows, spaces, live streams, all in the Wolf ecosystem. So whatever it is that you like, whether you like trading, whether you like just saving and investing, whether you like things like this, feel good Bitcoin stories, the amazing things that's happening, acts of kindness, circular economies, the builders and tech people around the world that are spreading Bitcoin adoption. Those are the type of things that we'd like to put out. So thank you for hanging out with us. My name is Taj. We've had a great stream, and I really appreciate all of you that came through. And now, have some time to take a look at the chat. So those of you that are here, I just Bits of Wealth says first. Yeah, definitely, man. I appreciate it. Great stream prior to this, by the way. Nat, really appreciate you. You always have some great spaces too as well. By the way, check out some of these people. They're doing some great things within the ecosystem. But yeah, I really appreciate that. And just checking out, since it was my fault. Since it was my fault. No, it really wasn't your fault that we were late. It worked out well because let's just say you warmed up the audience, and that way we kind of once they were on the page already for Wolf, they came in and they're ready to see another stream. So I appreciate it. You broke the ice for me. And then let's see what's going on here. Yes, do bits. So good. Yeah, I really appreciate that, Nat. Yeah, lots of comments coming through. Man, this has been active today. I need that mic setup. Yeah, I'll tell you how I did that. So yeah, using tech to spread Bitcoin. I'll definitely let you know how I have this set up. Yes, that is really cool. I've never been to a Steak and Shake. The first time I actually heard about Steak and Shake was through this Bitcoin initiative. And when they started accepting Bitcoin, then this really caught my attention. So I think it's doing a lot of things. And a lot of people might say, oh, it's just a gimmick or whatever it is, but it's a win-win. It's a net positive for the Bitcoin ecosystem in the sense that Bitcoiners have a place that they can go. Now employees are coming into the ecosystem. They know about this stuff. And of course, it's good marketing for them too as well. So obviously they had convictions about Bitcoin or else they wouldn't associate their company with this. And I think it's just a good thing. It's a net positive for everybody that's involved. I don't think anyone could possibly lose with this. So I was about to go to bed. So appreciate that. You're about to go to bed and you just kind of popped in, and hopefully we made it worth your while. You had a wonderful evening. So I really appreciate you coming through. And yeah, this is the islands. Yeah. Not too far from you. Yep, absolutely. So yeah, just checking out all these different comments. Man, I really appreciate this stuff. You guys really blew up the comments today. So really great stuff here. I was watching this Bits and Ash. Here we go. Yeah, so yeah, the stream that came up right before this, like I said, lots of different things that are on this page. So hopefully we have something something for everyone. So apologize for that. Just we ran into the two shows, but I think on a Saturday afternoon or Saturday evening, depending where you are, Saturday night, this is just something that we just like to put out and have a little positivity on your feed. So a few more comments, just seeing here what else is coming through. Reposted the stream. Really appreciate you, TSN, reposting the stream. Every repost, every comment, everything does help. And by the way, those of you that are watching these streams and want specific stories that you might come across, even if it's like a local story, I don't care how small the story is. It could be like a random child selling lemonade on your street that's accepting Bitcoin. Take a photo of it, maybe even get a little clip of the video of the kid with their parent, of course, not trying to get in trouble, and have them say hey, why are you selling lemonade for Bitcoin? And I'll put it up here. I mean, I love stories like that. So if you see any really positive things, I don't care how local it is. The more local, the better it is, because those are the things that people would not see on their timeline. They don't know about. So if you see a story that you want me to cover, please feel free to DM us. You can shoot us a message or just comment underneath this, whether it is me at Tropic Vibes or the Wolf Bitcoin page. It's easier to find because it's right here. This is where I'm streaming from. Yeah, send us a story and we'll get that up there. Now I want pizza, TSN. Yeah, absolutely. That's one thing I do miss from living in New York. Jamaican pizza is terrible. So yeah, and those of you that moved out of the New York area, you can agree with that too. I like them more than fireworks. Yeah, so I've actually never seen a drone aerial show, but I really want to, especially if one is going to be about Bitcoin. But I'm a weirdo. Like once I find something on my timeline or whatever, then I kind of go down that rabbit hole. And one day I spent hours just watching. This is when it first came up. They were doing them in China and over Southeast Asia. And it was a really big thing there for a while. And for one whole weekend, I was just watching different drone aerial shows. And I was like, you know what? That'd be really cool if they did this. But now it's starting to come over here. So I'm really excited about that myself. I've never seen one in person, but I really would like to. I tell my mom to buy Bitcoin. Yeah, she pronounces it as what it says bacon. It triggers me. That's funny. She pronounces Bitcoin as bacon. That's really funny because yeah, even Bitcoins. You're into Bitcoins. I hear that a lot too. And everyone assumes that if you're like the outside people, when I say everyone, if you have any association with Bitcoin, that you're a trader. That's what most people think. And people think that I've had random people come up to me and say, I hear that you're trading Bitcoin. I hear that you're a Bitcoin trader. And I am actually not a trader. I hang out with traders. I like to listen to traders. I like to see them break down the charts. But those of you that know, like, I am not a trader. I have not had luck trading anything other than, flipping junk on eBay. Like, that was my first trade, if you will. But no, as far as finances, equities, trading Bitcoin and watching charts, not my thing. But every time someone knows that, oh, you're a Bitcoiner, like, yeah, I want to get into trading. Like, sorry, I'm not the guy for that one, but I can get you into Bitcoin though. So anyways, there's different things for everyone. And yeah, hopefully you found this very helpful. I went through all the comments here, just kind of breezed through them. I really appreciate every single one of those comments because this makes this fun. I don't want to do this by myself and just talk to myself, but also the feedback, constructive criticism, really appreciate that. I'm not going to take it personal. Like, say, hey, last week, TSN let me know I was breezing through things too fast. Hopefully I slowed down a little bit. I did less stories and kind of took some deep breaths and so forth. So hopefully the stream got a little bit better. But again, I didn't take it personal. I appreciate constructive criticism. So feel free to send comments, message. I don't care how mean you might think it is. I'm not going to take it personal. So thank you again for hanging out with me. Thank you again for covering these stories or being interested in the stories that I'm covering. And I will see you next week. Every single week, Good Bits should be on at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And again, if you have any local stories that you want me to cover, DM me and I'll get it into the show. Really appreciate you all. Have a nice weekend.